Donald Trump's Department of Justice has been caught red-handed, deleting massive troves of information about individuals convicted of crimes during the January 6th insurrection who were also involved in child sex crimes. You heard that right. The Trump regime, the Epstein class, deleting information about individuals convicted of child sex crimes who were involved in the January 6th insurrection. Hat tip to Merrill Kornfield from the Washington Post, who caught the Department of Justice doing this. The Department of Justice then responded. Let me show you what went down, and I'll also share with you, while all of this is taking place, including Donald Trump setting up a $1.8 billion slush fund for January 6th insurrectionists using our taxpayer dollars. You have MAGA Republicans like Ron DeSantis running away from the cameras like the cowards that they are, refusing to answer questions. Watch as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis runs away from a very basic question. And I'm going to show you in a moment what he's also running away from. Donald Trump's Department of Justice deleting information about these individuals who Trump wants to pay money to, who are also involved in child sex crimes. Let's watch DeSantis running away.
Governor, what do you think of the weaponization fund, the DOJ fund? Could you comment on that?
Now, here's what was posted by Merrill Kornfield. She posted the following. The Trump administration is quietly deleting info about the Capitol attack from the Department of Justice website as it prepares to give funds to these January 6th insurrectionists. This week, the Department of Justice deleted a press release about one man with an ongoing child sex solicitation case who came to the Capitol with bear spray. She then shows the before and after. The before is the press release. The after, currently, page not found. Here was the press release that was deleted. Houston man sentenced to prison for assaulting law enforcement with dangerous weapons during January 6th Capitol breach. A Houston man was sentenced to prison today for assaulting law enforcement and other charges related to his conduct during the breach of the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. His actions and the actions of others disrupted the joint session. Andrew Take, 35, of Houston, Texas, was sentenced by U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols, by the way, a Trump-appointed judge, to 74 months in prison, 36 months of supervised release, and ordered to pay $2,000 in restitution. Taki pled guilty to one count of assaulting, resisting, and impeding certain officers using a dangerous weapon, which is a felony. He pled guilty on December 20th, 2023. This is an individual who pled guilty, who was sentenced by a federal judge, a judge appointed by Donald Trump. You look at the website, it says page not found, but let's dig deeper about who Andrew Take is. September 30th, 2025, Andrew Take, pardoned for January 6th insurrection, pled guilty to Harris County, Houston, child sex crimes. Here's what we learned about him. The plea agreement, he pled guilty again, requires Taki to register as a sex offender for the next 10 years. He was accused of sending explicit messages and photos to an undercover police officer posing as a 15-year-old on the Plenty of Fish dating website. Now, once the Trump regime was exposed deleting this information, what did they say? Remember, Merrill Kornfield says the Trump administration quietly deleting info about this person, who then pled guilty to the child sex crime as well. The DOJ rapid response account says, nothing quiet about it. We are proud to reverse the Department of Justice's weaponization under the Biden administration. We will do everything in our power to make whole those who were persecuted for political purposes. This includes stripping the Department of Justice's website of partisan propaganda. Wow, partisan propaganda, posting public information about an individual who pled guilty to assaulting police officers, who was later found guilty also by plea bargain of a child sex crime involving a 15-year-old. I mean, this Trump regime is a bunch of despicable, vile rats. These are monsters, this Epstein class. I'm sorry. I get so damn angry. They're deleting this and calling this liberal propaganda, is calling out people involved in child sex crimes who were also pled guilty to assaulting police officers. Merrill Cornfield, she did a great job. She posted this as well. Here's another press release that was archived last month, but is no longer on the DOJ website, describing the first breach of the police barricades around the Capitol building. This was deleted by Trump's DOJ. 4 men sentenced for actions during January 6th Capitol breach. And it talks about individual sentenced to 8 years. Another individual sentenced to 36 months. Another individual sentenced to 30 months. And these were all people involved in very violent crimes, brandishing deadly weapons, inflicting bodily injury, serious issues involving Capitol officers and people who were there. Here's another one. This now deleted press release describes in graphic detail an attack on police officers. Upon reaching the front, Dempsey threw a short pole-like object into the tunnel, striking a police officer. Dempsey shouted, "Fuck you, bitch-ass cops." Dempsey is someone who Donald Trump is going to be giving our taxpayer dollars to under the plan as a reward for striking a police officer with a pole-like object and trying to seriously injure or perhaps kill the officer, saying, "Fuck you, bitch-ass cops." You know I don't like cursing, but I need to describe exactly what the conduct is, which the DOJ once again says, "We are removing all partisan propaganda." I mean, I don't know how any police union can be supportive of this Trump regime unless the police union leaders hate the police. Because when I read that conduct, this is what the Trump regime is doing while rewarding also people who were convicted of child sex crimes like Taki in that first thing that I read right there.
Whether you're planting now or later, Fast Growing Trees has everything you need to make your dream yard a reality, starting with the best quality and selection of plants delivered to your door. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest online nursery with over 1,600 unique trees and plants. They've been delivering trees and plants since 2005, so they know how to do it right. They have all the plants that your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. Order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days without ever leaving home. Their Alive and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy, ready to thrive in your yard. All plants and trees are locally grown in the US and cared for by experts before they ship to you. So I ordered a lemon tree from Fast Growing Trees a few years ago at this point, and it is still going strong. Every time I walk up to my door, I get hit with the smell of fresh citrus. It's amazing being able to grow my own fruit right in my yard without hiring a landscaper or spending a fortune. Fast Growing Trees saved me easily like 90% of the cost of hiring a landscaper to do this for me, and I didn't have to give up an entire Saturday driving around to nurseries that may or may not have had what I wanted. No messy car, no wasted trips, no guessing. They delivered everything right to my door, and it actually thrived. This season, they have the best deals for your yard, including up to half off tons of plants and other deals. And listeners to our show get 20% off their purchase when using the code Meidas at checkout. That's 20% off their purchase at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code Meidas at checkout. MEIDAS. Now is the perfect time to plant. Use Meidas to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Check out the link below or in the show notes and support the show.
Jamie Dupree writes, the Justice Department eagerly admits they are erasing press releases about January 6 convicts. Those criminals attacked police and targeted Congress for only one reason that day, because of Trump's lies about the 2020 election. Now, MAGA Republican Senator Kramer, he says that he is very upset right now that Donald Trump would inject this slush fund while the reconciliation bill had not been passed, because now Republicans have to deal with Democrats adding amendments to the reconciliation bill to block Donald Trump's slush fund. And now Republicans are being put on the spot in a way that they can't hide what they're trying to do with Donald Trump. So they're now telling Donald Trump and Attorney General Blanche, we can't put your slush fund in anymore because now Democrats are smartly calling their bluff by trying to tie it to this reconciliation bill. So we've got that going on as well. Now, there's more information about just the disgusting behavior by Trump's DOJ. Apparently, they, with acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, working with MAGA Republicans in the House of Representatives and the House Oversight Committee, which is part of the RICO criminal enterprise, along with the DOJ. The DOJ is a criminal enterprise, and the Trump regime White House criminal enterprise. They all apparently work together to coordinate right before Howard Lutnik, a few weeks back, was supposed to sit under oath and take a deposition in the House Oversight Committee. Guess what happened? He cut a $5 million check to House Republicans, to the main House Republican PAC, the main House Republican Super PAC, Political Action Committee, right before his testimony. And then the House Oversight Committee canceled his deposition under oath and then called it an informal, involuntary interview, no video cameras, not under oath, because Lutnik paid $5 million to Republicans, and that was all worked out with Trump's DOJ, the same DOJ, the Epstein class DOJ, that is now covering up child sex crimes as well by removing other public information about January 6th insurrectionists from the DOJ website. Here is what MAGA Republican Congressmember James Comer had to say back on May 6th before we knew about this $5 million transaction that the New York Times just reported on. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
Based on, his description of events, do you have any concerns about the secretary's conflicting statements, and why not do this as a videotaped interview?
This is, with this transcript, he's coming in voluntarily, first of all. So we don't video people that come in voluntarily. We didn't video Ted Waite last week. But at the end of the day, the transcript's the most important thing. I assume there'll be Democrat members here today. If not, there'll be staffers. I know there was criticism. I read somewhere that a member or two was complaining that this was on a day when Congress wasn't in session. When this was scheduled, we were supposed to be in session. This week was flipped with King Charles last week. So when we scheduled this, he was supposed to be here. So, if you're interested in the investigation, you can come here. I missed my son's baseball game last night because I want to be here, obviously, for this interview. And
now, who's leading these efforts in the Justice Department? Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, the one who represented Donald Trump in the New York case where Trump was convicted of dozens of felony counts. Yes, there's a felon in the White House who is also found civilly liable for sexual assault. Yes, there is a sexual predator in the White House. And then Todd Blanche, as I'm sure you know the story now, also cut a deal with Donald Trump to prevent any further IRS audits or tax audits about Donald Trump, Trump's company, Trump's kids. They have full tax immunity. They don't have to pay taxes anymore because Donald Trump filed a frivolous $10 billion lawsuit against the government in January 2026, alleging conduct from 2019 when Trump was in office, a claim that was time barred, patently frivolous, and that there's no basis for, and that it also affected 450,000 other people as well. But now I will share with you what Todd Blanche recently said on a podcast hosted by Stephen Miller's wife, who apparently, even though nobody watches this on YouTube, she's going to be getting a show on CBS, State Regime Media with Barry Weiss. Listen to what he said about the Epstein client list. Todd Blanche, let's play it.
Does a client list exist? Is the government does an Epstein client list exist, and is the government in possession of it?
No, I mean, listen, everything, I could ask you the same question, right? Because everything's been released. So, there's what's commonly referred to as the client list. If I were speculating, is the black book that has been released for years and years and years. That was basically Epstein's address book. There was a list of masseuses. It's not a client list, obviously. A lot of those women were actually victims. that exists. But I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't know what a client list is, and I'm not trying to be naive, but what would a client list consist of? You mean a list of Mr. Epstein's, the people he was supposedly blackmailing? Is it people that were his business clients, his personal clients? But no, I have not seen such a list.
And again, you see the connections here about what's going on. Finally, Todd Blanche says that there was never an Epstein cover-up at all. Here's what he has to say. Let's play it.
Do you think the investigators covered it up? Given how many victims there are, surely, I mean, there should be more prosecutions and more charges than there are.
Well, look, the Epstein files are available for everybody to see. So it's not, so do I think there was a cover-up? No, I don't, but it's not just up to me. Everybody that's watching this, everybody that, the Epstein Transparency Act, has now allowed us to release the entire Epstein files.
There's still 3 million held back though. Not all of them are public.
No, they're all public. No, so look, that's not true. So there's a narrative that there's 3 million pages that are being held back. They have nothing to do with Epstein.
And then, of course, Donald Trump's speech that he just gave in New York, that really weird speech where he said the following about Lutnik. And then here's what Lutnik had to say. Let's play it.
Because the money we're being made. Is that right, Mr. Lutnik? Secretary of Commerce is here. Looks good, looks handsome, reasonably. He doesn't look like Jackson. I'd rather look like Jackson. I'll take Jackson any day.
Look, serving in the cabinet of Donald Trump is the greatest honor of a lifetime. As his Commerce Secretary, my job is to bring in investment in America, and we brought in $18 trillion. We're bringing confidence back to America.
One more time, hat tip to Merrill Cornfield. Great investigative reporting there, catching what the DOJ was doing. And then the DOJ publicly posted, we ain't doing it quietly. We help people. You heard what they said? We help people who were convicted also of child sex crimes. Huh? What are we doing here? Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.